This morning I was reading Walter Isaacson's biography of Leonardo da Vinci, and I've gotten to the point in his story where da Vinci has moved to Florence, moved out of Florence into Milan, and finally came back to Florence later in his life when he was about 45. And by the time he gets back to Florence the second time, he gets back to a sort of different Florence. There's a young hotshot artist named Michaelangelo who lives there now and who's creating there. And Michaelangelo had just finished this very impressive piece of marble carving called David, which we all know about now. And Walter Isaacson kind of goes into Michelangelo's story a little bit to help round out da Vinci's world. But I found it so interesting because he talks about when Michelangelo got the commission to paint the chapel of the Sistine Chapel, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. There's a poem that was discovered in one of his notebooks, Michelangelo's notebooks, and it was a poem to himself, and it said, "I'm not in the right place. I am not a painter." And I read that and I was like, Michelangelo didn't see himself as a painter? The man that created the Sistine Chapel, the same piece of art that brings people in droves from all over the world, from different backgrounds and languages and worldviews that could all unite us together, this person didn't feel like a painter. And it got me thinking about where we're at right now with quarantine and how people are, learning how to bake or picking up an instrument or learning a new language or just getting better at being in relationship with their spouse or their loved ones. And it just gave me so much confidence. And I know for myself, trying to learn new skills, you can feel like a little fraudulent at the beginning, like I'm not this person, this is not who I am. But to know that one of the greatest artistic achievements in our history was done at the hands of somebody that didn't believe themselves to be a painter should give us confidence that we're capable. And it's not just the capability, but it's an audacity to do something that we feel ill-equipped to do, and in the doing, that's when we become the thing that we think we aren't. And I can only imagine, I was thinking about Michelangelo writing this poem to himself and closing his journal and going to bed and waking up the next day and assembling his scaffolding, grabbing his paintbrushes and grabbing his paint and climbing the scaffolding and the first brush strokes on the ceiling of the chapel and getting to work. And so I guess that story should be a nice reminder that we just gotta get to work.